Walking street smiles meet that oceans.
What's going on, everybody? Listen, I have a very special guest on the channel, Erik from 6 Knots. Listen, I appreciate you hopping on the channel. It's been a long time coming, I want to say. I know we connected, guys. If you guys don't know, we connected. What was it almost a year ago?
Probably about
Almost
a
a year
year,
ago,
yeah.
because that we met at the Strawberry Festival right up the road from
The
me.
Gamber Strawberry Festival, yep.
Man, man, and I saw your shirts. I was like, dude, that's absolutely phenomenal. Listen, I'm gonna give you the mic real quick. So 6 Knots, that's your clothing brand company.
Yep.
You're local, and what how did it come about? What is 6 Knots?
Sure. Yeah, so I'm originally from Pennsylvania. I moved down to Maryland I don't know, more than 15 years ago. And
Mm-hmm.
I came down here, and it's a different world in Pennsylvania, right? We got some lakes and stuff up there, but
Yeah,
moving down around the Chesapeake Bay and being able to go out fishing and just going out with buddies on boats, and so that all
yeah,
started a long time ago. Um, I'm the brand itself. I was thinking about it for a while, right?
mm,
So I'm out on boats with my friends, and you start wearing performance shirts, and you want to wear something that represents you, right?
yeah.
And when I went out looking for stuff, it's like I can either wear a white shirt with a fish on the back, or I can go pay like $150 for a fancy one from some big brand, right? And I'm like,
Yes.
man, the stuff just really doesn't represent me. You know what I mean? It just wasn't my vibe. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. And the name itself, 6 Knots, for anybody that doesn't know, in the Chesapeake and its tributaries in Maryland, the speed in the no wake zone is 6 knots. So
Ah,
when you're out there,
okay.
on the water, most of the time you're in the six, which is what we call that area. And you're tying up with other boats, you're hanging out with friends, you're going to dock bars, just cruising around. So for me, that was like the lifestyle, right? That's what you go out there
Got
to
it.
do. So it
Yeah.
was so that's where the name came from. And I was thinking about it for a while. I came up with the name, and I'm like, I really want to do this, right? I got a full-time job, I got a kid, all that stuff. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
So I walked into my buddy's office who I work with in my full-time job. He's right
Mhm.
next door to me. He's a marketing guy. Sit down. I'm like, Zach, you got to do this with me. And I laid it out, and he's like, okay, let's do it. So that was how we got
Love that.
started.
Dude, I love that. Listen, like from just I know how much of a hassle just coming up with the name, because the name represents the vibe, represents like it's your initial footstep into the whole thing. Without a
Yeah.
good name, without that thing, it's really hard to market,
Well,
and
and once you commit, it's not like you can
yeah,
just change the name. You know what I
no,
mean?
not at all. Not at all. It's like, by the way, that was a bad call. Like, no, but I love that. It's like it not only is just it, what your it's everything. It's like what you're getting like into. Like 6 Knots, you kind of know what it is. Like what
Yep.
that sphere is that's tied to, for sure, man. I did not know that the wake is. I'm not very nautical myself. Okay,
Right.
so but I'll tell you one thing though. I I I saw that when I went to go visit my father. He lives in Florida, right?
Mhm.
And obviously from up here, I'm just like, okay, what are shorts, t-shirts, whatever. Go down there, sweltering humidity, like just stupid. And so I was on the hunt. I was like, listen, I know they have these like fishing type shirts, right? They're
Yep.
around, they exist. I go out and the same thing. It's like either absolute garbage that'll melt to your skin, or like you said, insanely expensive. And there
Yep.
was no middle. There's no middle ground where it's like you're paying good money. You're paying good money for a good product, not overpaying for a product. And I do like that about the stuff in your store. Um, so from Pennsylvania, right? From PA. So have the lifestyle here, the fishing, the boating, the coastal, I would say culture.
Yeah.
How is that different from the other places you've been? Because I feel like Marylanders were pretty unique. We're pretty we put our flag on literally everything, and we're
Yep.
very Maryland centric, right? How does that compare with other places that you visited? Like
Yeah,
just
look,
the vibe.
we bounce around all over the place, right? We do boat shows and we go to
Yep.
events. And I travel, right? And usually we travel by the water, so you get to experience all these different places.
Hmm.
And I think the Chesapeake Bay region is really unique and just the culture that exists around the water.
Hmm.
Like one of our hats, we named the Watermen after the guys that are out there, fishing every day and catching
Yeah.
crabs and that kind of stuff. So like that's what the life revolved around here for a long time, right? And then all the industry comes and that other stuff, but there's still this attachment here that
Yeah.
like you don't necessarily see when you go to a place like Florida. The closest thing I can compare it to is up in like Newport, Rhode Island, like that region, like
Okay.
Narragansett Bay and up there, like they've got that same sort of culture too, but a lot more sailing up there. Down here, it's more like a workman like kind of
Like, got it.
culture around the water. But
Got it.
it's
Like a
just it's
blue
just
collar
different.
culture, like a blue collar of
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
water.
Yep.
I get
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
Um, so are you all right? Are you thinking about, because right now you're just mainly online, right? You're pushing everything mainly online store and at the places I see you, like the markets and
Yep.
the I guess the
The
what'd you
boat
say, like
shows, all that
boat
kind of stuff.
shows.
Yep.
Would you ever expand to like a brick and mortar or maybe open like a fishing lodge in Maryland? Would you ever? Is
Yeah, I don't
that
know. I don't know that we're gonna do brick and mortar anytime soon. So mainly there's the overhead costs are huge for that, right? You got a
yes?
full-time staff, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
It's more likely we'll push into retail first,
Okay.
where our apparel will be available in other
Got it.
people's stores. So
Okay.
that's probably our next step. You can only do so many boat shows a year, right? Like you
True.
can't be on the road 24/7 traveling around all up and down
No.
the coast. So
No.
yeah, I mean that's probably our next step. So right now it's online and all those events that we do.
If now do you team up with a lot of local anglers, fishermen at the boat shows? Do you guys represent any fishermen out here?
Yeah, we got guys that we sponsor, and not
That's
just in
awesome.
this area. We got guys up and down the coast that we send gear to. They take pictures for us.
That's cool.
It's they love getting the gear. We love seeing the pictures, and it helps us expand and get more eyes on
For
it. So
sure.
we love working with fishermen. Um, we're starting to do some wholesale stuff with some companies and some
Okay.
other some other organizations, so that they can take our designs and put their logos on it, that kind of stuff.
Has there ever been any or what's been your most memorable 6 knots trip do you go out with your
Yeah,
the people
yeah,
you
yeah.
sponsor? What has been
Yeah,
the
we
most insane thing?
I don't know if it was like a fishing trip or anything like that, but I'll tell you what, the first year we went up and we decided to do the Newport Boat Show, right? We were pretty new.
Uh-huh.
For first year we're selling, right? And it's a
Mhm.
big expense. Like it's far away. We got to drive six
Yeah.
hours to get there, all that stuff. You got to stay up there for the long weekend. And we go up, and I think it was 23. And that was the year that the hurricane came right up the coast and hit Newport literally when the boat show happened. So like we're in this outside tent. There's 50, 60 mile per hour winds, downpours,
Oh,
and we're strapping everything up
Jesus.
and like trying to keep it from flying away. And we did great, right? Like it finally let up, and at the end of the show, people came out, and it was a great event for us. And we thought we
That
sold so much, we were like, oh my god, it was so great. And even though there was a hurricane, but it's like every event you do, you get more and more people that recognize the brand, and they come back year after year when
yep.
you go to the events. And what seemed huge a year and a half, 2 years ago, now you look back and you're like, man, we're doing like double, triple that at each event now. And
That's
it's just
hey, that's
it's super
awesome.
cool to see the growth. But yeah, that was crazy. Like, the middle of a hurricane. It's one of our first shows, and we're out there trying to sell our clothes in the
Hey,
rain and the
that's
50,
that
60 mile per hour winds.
that's the name you want, right? That's hey man, these guys
Yeah.
are crazy. These guys are nuts. I support these guys. They're out there in a hurricane, pretty much underneath a big parachute. Like I love that.
Yeah, I mean, we could have changed our name to 60 knots up there by the way the wind was blowing.
That's awesome. You just have a separate team go around during hurricane
Yeah.
season.
Yeah,
Just
just
rebrand
hurricane events.
hurricane events, 60 knots. Yeah, no worries. So for all the listeners, right? What is becoming an entrepreneur in and of itself is a monumental task. Like you said, from being part of, let's say, the office energy, the office force,
Yep.
to taking a step out, man, and you have your kid, your family. That's no small feat, and to be able to juggle, I guess, that transition time, or was it more of like an all-in thing? Like, let's just dive in and hey, man, we're giving it 100, or was it a little bit of a slow,
Yeah,
like a slow
it's
start?
it's tough, right? Like you're
Mhm.
starting from scratch. You don't know what you don't know. I didn't know anything about apparel and design and sizing and all that stuff, right? And the reality is you just have to figure it out. So
Yeah.
like when I started out, I started watching all these YouTube channels, right? Just like you guys do.
Yeah.
And I found this one, I'll give him a shout out. There's this guy up in Canada that runs a clothing brand. It's called Apparel Success.
Mhm.
All he does is talk about how he built his brand and all the things he went through. I started watching this guy. I'm like, all right, I'm learning from this guy. But when it comes down to it, like you got to go find vendors, you got to
Yeah.
change sizing, you got to design all this stuff, and you don't know what people are going to like. So it's a learning process, you know. Um, there's this statistic that I saw when I started out where something like 90% of
Mhm.
clothing brands fail in the first 2 years. They just don't exist at the end of 2 years. So I had this like
2
I had this
years?
thing in my head. I'm like, I
Wow.
gotta get past 2 years, right? No matter what, like I'm
Mhm.
getting past 2 years.
Yeah.
And I think that was like the driver for me. I was like, I don't care what happens, I don't care how hard it is. If I get past 2 years, it's easy sailing from there.
Yeah. I love that because, or like also I would say, I don't know if it's changed since I've been out there doing that thing. But first 5 years sink or make or break
Yeah.
most companies, right? Entrepreneurs doing their own thing,
Yep.
usually the first 5 years. So clothing is actually more, it's a
It's
lot
tough. Yeah,
less
it's tough.
time. What how do you manage all of this? How do you multitask? How do you not burn out? Because I know, um, I'm the son of a salesman that sold pretty much construction everything, right? My pops ran his own construction company,
Yep.
so it's like I know that grind and pushing your own product, pushing your own service, it's like nonstop. But there is a burnout.
Yeah. Yeah, for
How
sure.
do you handle that, man?
Yeah, I think it's different when you own when it's your own thing, right? Like so for me, I do get burned out. Who doesn't, right? But like
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm building something for me, for my son, for my family, and at the end, it's mine. Like
yeah,
it's not like I'm working for somebody else and they get the payoff at the end.
yeah,
So I'm all in. I'm committed. I'm doing this pretty. This is what I'm doing. There's no like I'm doing it for this long. I'm doing it for
yeah,
this. I'm doing it no matter what. And if I keep that mindset, I
yeah,
just keep pushing and it'll be a couple years
yeah,
down the road. I'll be doing it full time with the guys I started the company with. And we'll be spending all our time out on boats and selling shirts. And well, I mean, just what a great life,
hey,
right?
man.
Like nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that. So
hey, but you know what though? But you know what though? It all comes on the back end of the hustle,
yep.
of the staying focused. Like a lot of people tend to focus on like the positives, but like a lot of it's there. There are the struggles, the hustle, the ups and downs that one faces normally starting your own business. But to navigate that and to still be proud of what you're building and not, I guess, resent the whole journey is a big thing because that's what I've seen in multiple cases where it's like the hustle just drained because there was never any sort of decompression. There was never any, there was like, but at least it seems like you have your balance, your work-life balance
Yeah,
right. Because
it's
it
tough, but it's the little things that keep you going, right? Like when I go to an
yeah,
event that I went to the last year and I see a bunch of people wearing our gear that they bought last year and they come back and tell us how much they love it. Or like I
yeah,
call them out in the wild sightings where I'm like randomly just out somewhere and I see somebody in our gear. Like that's the kind of stuff that you're like, it's working. Like it gets you so excited and like that gets you over those bad times because there's always bad times.
oh,
You
for
have
sure.
problems
Oh,
with
for sure.
vendors and they do stuff wrong and There's hurricanes at events, but like it's those little things along the road that just, keep you
So
pushing.
for sure, man. For sure. Like you should have a stipulation anytime you sell a shirt or something that, hey, listen, you might be photographed at any moment by one of
Oh,
us.
for
If
for
I see
sure.
you, I'm taking a picture of you. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, it's funny. I'll
I love
I'll see somebody wearing a shirt out and I'll like stealthily like, try to take a picture of them and send it to everybody and be like, look, they're wearing our stuff. It's super exciting. I don't think it'll ever get old either. You know what I mean? No matter how
Oh no.
many shirts we sell, no matter how big we get, like that's the best part.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Like it's like that, like you said, those little things, those little gems that you find. You're like, like that breath of fresh air. You're like, oh man, yes, we're out here, and they're out here, and they like our products. Um,
Yeah, and by the way, like we get to spend our time out on the water and at boat shows and in the
eh,
sun and like that alone,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like we're not slaving away in an office most of the time. We're out talking to people and in the sunshine and looking at boat. Like that's all
I
fun.
do.
So like we
Yeah,
get that like it makes it easier for sure.
it's never like, oh, poor us. We get to go have fun in the sun and sell our merch for us and just
And
pretty
have a
much
couple
extend our
cocktails
footprint.
and talk to
Have a couple.
people. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
Hey man, I mean, listen, that's you couldn't have picked a better work environment for damn sure.
That's
That's for
right.
damn sure. Um, what would you say the biggest lesson this entrepreneurship has taught you? Like, what would you say for people that are like, hey, I have this bug, this entrepreneurial bug in me.
Yep.
You know, what what would you say is the one of your top mantras, you know?
Sure. There's a few things, right? One is really, really think about your product and who you're going to sell to in your market and in your niche, right?
Mhm,
Like my niche, our niche is that, it's that space in between the super expensive brands and like
mhm.
the hardcore fishing brands. I
Yeah,
saw a gap there because I was in that gap. So like, don't like speaking specifically to people that want to start a clothing brand. Don't put your name on the back of a shirt and call it Arius brand and expect people to want to wear a shirt because it has your name on it, right? Like
yeah,
make sure you like have a really unique niche and you're going to appeal to a certain subset of people.
yeah,
And you'll find out really fast, right? Because nobody's going to buy it if they don't identify with it, right? That's why we all buy the brands that we do, the hats we wear, the shirts we wear, the logos, because we
yep,
identify with that lifestyle or that brand.
yep.
So make sure that it's something unique and you have the potential to resonate with people. Um, yeah, go ahead. You
Oh
were
yeah,
gonna
no,
say?
sorry. I was just out because I'm thinking about that, and it's just like an underrepresented group that you don't see out there in the marketplace, right? That's what your niche was that you filled. Is hey,
Yep.
you're like you said, you looked around. I can't get anything for me because it doesn't. I'm not in this demographic. I'm not here with this high end or super low end. I want something nice that lasts a while that I'm not pretty much sending up my firstborn for, you know.
Yep.
Um, yeah, no, that's facts, guys. If you're listening, that's solid advice for sure, for sure, man. Um, if you could, what was the aha moment? What was the, I would say, what was your like, your sit back with your buddy, and you're like, hey, man, this this might actually take off because you had that initial all in to start Six Knots
Yep.
with your friend, and then it starts, right? You guys have your chips on the table, and you're like, here we are. What was that moment? What was that time, if you can remember it, that we're like, okay, here we are.
Yeah,
Let's push.
again, I don't think it was one, but it's a bunch of little moments. Like again, we do a
Okay.
lot of live events, so we get to directly interact and talk to people and see the looks on their face and hear what they have to say about our stuff. So like when
Mhm.
somebody walks up and they're like, "Oh, Six Knots, I think I've heard about that," and you're a brand new company, or somebody comes up and they're like, "Oh, you guys should be in, this store, that store. Why aren't you in any of
Yeah.
these?" Or you guys are big, right? And we're like, "No, we're not." So it's like you get those like reactions that you're like, you know what? I think this is working, right? And that's the
Yeah.
stuff that like are sort of the moment where you're like, all right, I think I actually got something here.
Okay. What if I can talk some more about your products real quick.
Sure.
Uh what has been the best performing product, your best selling product that you have?
Sure. Yeah, I have one sitting here.
Because I
Um,
see them all in the back, guys. In his background, it's all his stuff. So I want to know. I want to know what I'm buying next. You know?
yeah, so well, I you might have it actually.
Huh?
So
What?
so
Let
our
me see.
coastal camo hoodie, our
Yo, yep.
Chesapeake style one. This is number one by like 2x everything else. So
Wow.
we've so it's like we have this, and actually, funny enough, it's only a year old. We just released this at the Bay Bridge Boat Show a year ago.
Okay.
Um, and it has just like taken off, right? Um, we have a we started out doing t-shirts and
Yeah.
sweatshirts, right? Because they're easy to print. And then
Yeah.
we got into custom stuff and made some mistakes on the first couple. Like they weren't that good.
Yeah.
I still got them in boxes in my basement, right? Because they didn't sell.
You're just like, oh,
But like
all right.
we took that to Bay Bridge Boat Show, and literally everybody that walked up grabbed one.
That's
And
awesome, dude.
it just what a feeling to have that. Like we almost sold out before we even put them on our website. It was like, wow, this
That's
is great.
crazy. It was like,
You
okay,
know,
we'll keep this one around. I like that one with that same pattern hat. That's that is the yes, bro. That one. That one. I love that. I love that. I was looking at that. I was looking at my 6 knots hat. I was like, we're about to upgrade that. We're gonna
yeah,
upgrade that for
we've
sure.
come a long way. We've come a long way in a short time.
Hey, man, which is awesome, which is what you want to see, and I'm so proud to have you guys part of this community, that we're part of that. You guys are killing it. You guys, have your strong online presence, and not just fading into obscurity, but also thriving. And it's like that's what I want. I It makes me proud. The more people like you that are in the community, it makes the community that much to thrive
Yep.
that much
Yeah.
more, and it's
Yeah. Look,
always good.
a
Mhm.
year ago, if we would have had this conversation, you would have seen a bunch of t-shirts behind me, right? And like now there's probably 25 different performance designs.
Yeah.
It's hoodies, it's crew necks, it's quarter zips, it's polos. We just did a vest and a jacket for the first time, so we're getting into outerwear. Like it,
How do
we're
you
just
How, how do you determine? Because okay, you're the man. It comes across your desk. You're like, yes, with this product, this type of fabric. No. Do you field test your shirts before you put them out there? You're like, all right, this is just rugged. Are there some? Are there some that just don't pass the? I
look,
mean,
yeah,
granted,
we
you're not selling those, but I'm just saying the ones that are like, oh, thank God we dodged that bullet.
Yeah, what we do is we test them in small quantities, right? So like I'll
Okay.
buy like 50 like when I come up with new designs, I'll do like 50 of each design.
Hmm.
And pretty quick like if they're going to be a winner or not. So basically the ones that sell well, you order more and you continue to buy larger orders of and get them made, and the ones that don't do as well, you let them fade away, and that was they got their 50 and that was that, and they
Yep.
move on into oblivion. But the goal is to just keep replacing those ones that don't sell and find the ones that do, and then keep on moving up with the ones that do great.
Are there some designs that you're just like, man, come on, I thought that was gonna be it, and it just didn't.
Yeah, every once in a while, there's some that I'm like embarrassed by now. Like I look at them
Oh,
now and I'm like, oh, that's so bad. At the
oh, I
time
love
though,
that though.
again, like
Yeah,
I didn't go to I'm not a fashion designer, right? Like I'm just some guy that is looking for something that I would wear, and not everybody identifies with what I would wear.
yeah.
And some designs don't turn out right, and that's okay. You trial and error and you test, and you move
You
on
move
with the
forward.
ones that don't do well.
Move forward for sure. Um, the what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, you guys were here at the was it a music festival? What was it here? There was
Maryland
something that was
Summerfest. Maryland
yes. How
Summerfest.
is how is
Yeah.
that? If I listen, we do a lot of music on this channel as well as these interviews, these talks, right?
Yep.
What How was your perception of the music fest? How did you like it? Did you like the vibe? I've never been. I've
Okay.
yet to go to it.
It's a pretty it's bigger event than I expected it to be. right?
Okay.
We're out in Carroll County, like there's, there's
Yeah.
farms and fields and stuff around. And actually we met so one of the performers at the event, he was the headliner on the one stage, Jason Cross.
Hmm.
Um, I was looking at the events, I sent him a message on Instagram, listened to a little of his music. I was like, hey, we're gonna be at the event. Come grab some gear. Love your music, by the way. I like country music. He plays country
Yeah.
rock. Great dude, awesome music. And our booth happened to be right by the stage. So we're just listening to music all day. Like, we had a great time for sure.
That's that's awesome. I always get jealous of the of like the tents that are set up at music festivals. Like, man, look at
Yeah,
that. That's
yeah, yeah.
awesome. It's just a great setting. It's a great setting. I love that you I feel like the fact that you guys are mainly just online and at festivals, it that's who you want. Those are the people. Those are your clientele, you know? It's not the brick and mortar, I would say. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's more this age. Does that date me? I don't know. I feel like I'm more comfortable purchasing stuff online than I am
Sure.
going to brick and mortar.
Yeah, look, there's space for both, right? But
Hmm.
I randomly buy stuff off Instagram and Facebook ads all the time, right? I'm scrolling,
Yeah.
I see cool, 10 seconds later, I got a shirt coming to me in the mail or whatever it is. So
What? I
that's
love
the way
that.
I shop. So
Yeah.
right, let's again, let's do things the way that we like to do them and make it available to other people that way.
Okay. Yeah. The next thing is, when is your next? Okay. Do you have your outlook yet of your year? I know we're kind of sort of knee deep in the year already, but like,
Yeah,
what are your
yeah, yeah.
next events that you're gonna be at, man?
Yeah, so actually in 2 weeks, we're going to be at the Annapolis Sailboat Show.
Oh,
Um,
sweet.
yeah, right downtown Annapolis. It's the spring sailboat show. They do two big fall events, the powerboat and the fall sailboat show. So
Mhm.
this is a smaller spring one, but Annapolis is a great city just to hang out in, and again, like right on the water, beautiful city.
Yeah,
So two weeks we're going to be down there all weekend. Hawking shirts and having a good time, basically.
there you go. Hell yeah, man. So then, just when do you guys just aren't, like you said in the beginning, you guys aren't just doing shows in Maryland. You guys are all up and down. You guys follow the scene, right? The fishing
Yep,
scene,
yep.
pretty much. Um, what is your, I would say, like the best? I don't want to say best because that's kind of subjective, right?
Yep.
But is there a show you look forward to the most?
Yeah, we love all the Maryland stuff, all the
Hmm.
local stuff because we know people and it's hometown,
Yeah.
all that. If I'm talking about outside of Maryland, we love the Newport Boat Show. It's
Yeah.
such a great city up there. It's just clean and fun, and it sort of reminds me of Fells Point, right? Like that sort
Okay.
of vibe. So it's a like a bigger version of Fells Point. So we love
Okay.
going up to Newport. One of the guys that we partner with up there fishes. He goes tuna fishing out of there.
Whoa.
So we can go fishing with him while we're up there, and it's a great town. We love being up in Newport.
Yeah. Uh, Now, when you guys go, let's say out of state, do you take your family with you? Like, how
It
does?
depends. Yeah, it depends. So, my wife comes sometimes. We haven't taken my son to any of the ones out of state yet. He's 3.5 years old.
Oh
So
man!
like,
Wow.
so he's not going to want to stand in a booth at a boat show all day long. So,
Nope.
when he gets a little older though, he's going to be working the booth for sure.
Hell yeah,
Need
man.
all the hands I can
That's
get.
that's part of the deal, right? That's part of the deal for
Oh yeah.
sure. You know, I get that. My son just turned 6, and it's been crazy, right? Like, and that's goes to my other point, man. It's super important to see you prospering out here in our scene, because I know, like, father with a kid, and it's just like, man, doing your having your goals, trying to attain your dreams, and bringing your family along. It's just it's a big beat, pound the chest moment. It just makes me proud, like seeing that. It's like super awesome because I know it's hard to juggle at times, everything. It's just I know that it could definitely seem overwhelming, but it seems like you have a really good support system in your corner.
You know, it's super rewarding doing stuff by yourself and for
Yep.
yourself. But when you have that family around you that you're doing it for too, it makes it that much better.
Oh yeah. I would say it takes the sting out of the lows and makes the highs that much better for sure. Um,
Absolutely.
so guys, if you guys are still with us, listen, all of the links to Six Knots are going to be in the description of the video. That's that mythical logical place that's underneath the video title. It just says description or more, and you click that and you'll be able to see the links. Is there anything you want to say to the audience? Anything that's after the 2 weeks, anything else that I guess
Yeah,
you would say
basically,
about it?
we're gonna be at every festival we can all summer throughout Maryland. So we're
Mhm.
gonna pop up at all kinds of crazy places. If you see the podcast, stop by and tell us. We love talking to people, even if you don't love the brand, right? Just stop by, say hi. That's what makes it fun. So come out, see us. You know, if you end up buying something, we love seeing pictures of people wearing the gear. So send us pictures, tag us on social, and give us feedback. Right, we're always going to listen to the people that are invested in our brand, and what they like, what they don't like, what they want to see. So the more
Okay.
feedback we get, the better. And we're blessed to be doing this. We made it past the 2 years. Everything's gravy from here, so it's all good.
Yeah. There you go, man. You hit that mark. I do have one one question. Are are you going to be branching out from the shirts? Are you going to be including more gear in the lineup like eventually? Um
Yeah, so we just started doing outerwear.
mhm.
So we just released a vest and a rain jacket. I think I got them back here. Let me just grab one real quick. And so we got the fall coming up. This
Yeah.
is our vest,
Oh,
right?
sweet, man. Yeah.
So great for layering. Wear one of our performance shirts under it. Looks great together. We just came out with this rain jacket. It's that same pattern
Yeah.
as the hat that you love,
Yeah.
right? But it's gonna keep you dry. So we're starting to get into outerwear. We're gonna do a lot more for the fall coming up.
Okay.
We're mid design period for the fall because we got to get all that stuff ordered in the summer.
Yeah. Yeah, for
So
sure.
lots of new stuff coming around that like August, September timeframe, and
Okay.
definitely more outerwear coming. Right, you're out on the water even when it's not nice out sometimes. So we want to make gear
Very
that
true.
can support that too.
Very true. No, I love that. I love that rain jacket, man. That pattern is awesome. I don't care what anyone says. That pattern is the dopest thing out there. So, but yeah, I'm definitely going to scoop one of those up right after we're done.
Nice,
But listen, man. Again, I want to say thank you for your time, man. And I'm going to be positive. I want to be seeing you at one of these events sooner than
for
later.
sure, for sure.
And wherever that is, I'll hit you up. I'm like, hey, man, are you here?
Perfect,
And
love it.
I'll show up, man, for sure, man. And guys, in the comments, just in the comments, I'll post your. I guess I'm going to include your Instagram links and all your links, but also, do you guys have a YouTube presence at
No
all?
YouTube yet. So we're like Instagram, Facebook. YouTube's coming. We're gonna start a channel and doing some
Oh
longer
yeah.
form videos, but probably second half of the year that'll be popping up.
Okay, man. Well, you let me know when that
Cool.
happens. You let me know when that happens. Be like, hey, man, check this out, and
Perfect.
I'll send it out into our
Yeah,
community here.
appreciate it.
Um, who I know this is kind of backtracking a little bit, and we'll don't worry, I'll let you go to your busy life after this, man. Who was writing the blogs? I know you guys did the blogs for a
Yeah, that's
while.
that's uh that's
Oh,
that's my co-founder. So again, he's a marketing guy. So he goes out and does
okay.
all the research and writes blog posts and that kind of stuff. But we're still both doing this part-time. We still have full-time jobs and everything else. So
Yeah.
more to come. Once we get this going full-time, we're actually able to spend all our time doing this. We're gonna have all kinds of crazy stuff,
Yeah.
but we're put
Yeah.
we're putting out what we can, and expect more to come for sure.
Hey, man, I'm looking forward to it. Well, listen, Eric, I really do appreciate every second of this. I'm going to make sure all of my people know where to find your stuff because honestly, your gear is the coolest. And I'll vouch for it, guys. I own some 6 knots things, and I vouch for them. Yeah, and don't be jealous. I have a discontinued 6 knots hat that goes in the 6 knots vault, history vault. But yeah, man, I appreciate your time. Thank you for hopping on the channel. I look forward to seeing you and also seeing your company grow more, man. It's just, like you said, it's just the beginning. Even though you've passed those 2-year mark, it's still the beginning. You're still a very young company, but you have the world ahead of you, man. And I can't wait to see you knock everything out of the park. You know, I just yeah, man, listen, I'm excited. I'm excited for you. Next time you guys are going fishing, let me know.
Sounds good. You're
And
welcome.
I'll try to. I'll wave from
You're
you.
welcome to come.
I'll wave at you at the shore. But yeah, all right, man. Well, look, thanks again. And guys, make sure you check out the links. All right, show Erik and 6 knots some love, and go his way and go check out the merch over on his channel. His channel. Sorry, it's just his channel. His site. His channel. No, his site. All right, guys. So what I say to everyone is, I always say, unplug and do something legendary. That's my sign off. And I look forward to having you back on at some point, man. You know, I started an outdoor type of homesteading-esque channel.
Okay.
Right. And I don't know the first thing about fishing. I'll just be honest. So I'm going to be hitting
Time
you
to
up, man.
learn.
Like, hey, you want to make some funny videos? You want to watch me fail? Yeah, I'll hit you up, man. So anyway, man, again, appreciate your time. Thanks for hopping on. And I'll see everyone in the next video, and we'll be sure to check out your links. All righty?
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. All right, later, everyone.
Walking street smiles meet like oceans. Talking dreams fueling